Hello class and welcome to ACT Prep. Today we're going to go ahead and look at matrices. We're going to look at how to add, subtract matrices as well as multiply by a scalar. So matrix or matrices are probably new to you. So what a matrix is an arrangement of numbers and these numbers are what we call elements. In rows and columns. So matrix is the singular form, matrices is the plural. Okay. When we talk about matrix, when we talk about a matrix, we like to talk about the order. And what the order is the size. Okay. The size of a matrix. And this is recorded, okay, the way we write it down, or recorded, as the number of rows by the number of columns. Okay. So that's what matrix and order are. So in example 1, we'll look at these two things. So example 1, okay, below is an example of a matrix. So here we have a matrix. And when we talk about it, okay, my rows are going this direction. So this is row 1, this way. Row 2, this way. Row 3. Okay, so going horizontally, those are always my rows. Then my columns are vertical. So this is column 1, this is column 2, column 3, and column 4. And each one of these numbers, this is an element. This is an element. Each one is an element. So example A says which element is in the location. We want to look row 3, column 1. So here's row 3, column 1. What is the element? The element is 3. Okay. Part B wants to look what element's in row 1, column 4. Here's row 1, column 4, 2. Then part C wants to know, well, what's the order of this matrix? Remember, it is row by column. And it's the number of rows by the number of columns. So how many rows do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So it is 3 by how many columns? 4. So it's a 3 by 4 matrix. Now we're going to go ahead and look at how to add and subtract. The reason we need to know order is because in order to be able to add or subtract two matrices, they must be exactly the same size, which means they are the same order. Okay. So example 2, if I look, this is a 2 by 2, the first one. 2 rows by 2 columns, so it's a 2 by 2. And the other one is a 2 by 2, so since they're exactly the same size, I can add them. Okay, and here's how we will add them. Okay, you take them in the elements that are in the same position and add them together. So I would take, well, what's 2 plus 6? Well, 2 plus 6 is 8. Then I would say, well, what is 5 plus 3? Because they're in the same spot. Well, that is also 8. Then I move on. I would have 1 plus 2, which is 3. And my last one is going to be 4 plus 1, which is 5. So here's my matrix. When it's added, the size will stay the same. So there is my solution. It's 8, 8, 3, 5. There's my matrix. Now let's look at example 3. Okay, it's a little different. We're going to do subtraction. So you just have to be a little bit more careful. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to maybe do a little more writing with this one so we make sure we don't make any mistakes. So we're going to have 9 minus 6 because they're in the same spot. So 9 minus 6. Then I'm going to have negative 3 minus 2. Then I will have 5 minus 7. Then I will have 2 minus 3. Then I will have 0 minus 4 and 1 minus a negative 3. Okay, so this is what my matrix will look like. Now I just have to simplify. 9 minus 6 is 3. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. 5 minus 7 is negative 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. This one I would end up adding, and so I would have 4. So my final answer is this matrix here in green. I don't know if you want to circle it, you can, but there's my final answer. Okay, so that's how you would add and subtract matrices. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Just add the elements that are in the same spots. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to pause the video, write them down. If you need to go back and look at something, please do. Otherwise, we're going to move on to multiplying by a scalar. Okay, so a scalar is just taking one number and multiplying it to my matrix. Okay, so if we have A, here's matrix A, then we can rewrite 2A as A plus A, because that's going to give me 2A. Okay, so if I'm going to do 2A, it's going to be A plus A, so I just rewrote A twice, and I would add each element together to get my answers. Okay. Now, is there an easier way to do this? My question to you is there a way for you to go from A, this matrix, straight to this one without having to rewrite A twice? Okay, well, it's 2A, so it's 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. So you just have to multiply it. So this is a scalar. This 2 here is my scalar. So you just need to multiply everything in the matrix, every single element, by that scalar. So example 4 says, well, here's matrix A. We want to find 3A. So my scalar is 3. Okay, so 3A will equal, I'm just going to take every single element in here, multiply it by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 3 is 3. Then I'm going to have 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. 0 times 3 is 0. 7 times 3 is 21. Then I go on to my last column. I would have 6 times 3 is 18. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And 9 times 3 is 27. So here would be my 3A matrix. Okay, that's multiplying by a scalar. So once again, if you have any questions, please write it down so you can ask. Otherwise, there's some practice problems, okay? There's practice problems 1 through 4. I would highly encourage you to pause the video and just do 1 through 4 on your own and then come back and check, okay? My biggest reminder here as you go through 1 through 4, it says work out the following problems where possible. So in order to do so, to add or subtract, remember the order must be the same, okay? So saying that where possible, so where the order is the same. So let's do 1. It says D plus E. Okay, I'm not going to rewrite them. They are listed right here. So we're going to add these two together. So I would have 1 plus 1. That's going to give me 2. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 8 plus 1 is 9. All right. 3 and 4 is 7. Negative 4 and 3 will give me negative 1 when I add them together. 7 and 2 is 9. 4 and 4 is 8. 5 and 3 is 8. And negative 9 and 2, when I add them together, I have negative 7. So here is D plus E. There's my matrix, D plus E. Okay. Example 2, it says 2B plus F. Okay, so I need to figure out, well, what is 2B first? Okay, so 2B will equal, well, everything in B times 2. So I would have 6, 30, negative 16. And I'm going to add that to F. And F, I'm just going to rewrite it. It's going to give me 12, negative 4, 16. You don't have to rewrite it if you don't want to. This is a negative 16. Okay, now I'm going to add those together. 2B plus F. So my final answer will be 6 plus 12 is 18. 30 plus negative 4 is 26, and negative 16 plus 16 is 0. There it is. There is my final answer. Example 3, it's F minus B. Okay, so I'm just going to write this one out. It's going to be my F is 12, negative 4, 16, minus B. 3, 15, negative 8. Okay, the subtraction can get a little tricky, so just be careful. Make sure you're always subtracting. So my final answer would be 12 minus 3, which is 9. Negative 4 minus 12, negative 4 minus 15 will give me negative 19. And then 16 minus a negative 8. If you're subtracting a negative 8, it's really adding, so it's 16 plus 8, which is 24. So my matrix is 9, negative 19, 24. That's my final answer. All right, and example 4. A little bit more work. We have a scalar along with subtraction. So let's find negative 3e. Okay, well, I'm just going to do negative 3e will equal negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. And all of these times negative 3 will be negative 12, negative 9, negative 6, negative 12, negative 9, negative 6. So there's my negative 3e. And now we need to subtract d. Okay, so I would have negative 3 minus 1 will give me negative 4. So I'm just going to, write this out. Negative 3e minus d will equal. So I have negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Negative 3 minus 8, okay, is going to give me negative 11. Moving on to my next column. Negative 12 minus 3 will give me negative 15. Negative 9 minus a negative 4, so it's really negative 9 plus 4 will give me negative 5. Negative 16 minus 7 will give me negative 13. Negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16. I wrote something down wrong here. Oh no, we're good. Negative 12 minus 4, we're good. Negative 16. Negative 9 minus 5 will give me negative 14. And then negative 6 minus a negative 9. So really negative 6 plus 9 will give me 3. So there is my final answer. Okay. There is one thing that I do want to talk about. There's a few problems on your homework where it might be like if they give us the matrices like we had before. Okay, so maybe on your homework it's going to give you matrices like this. And if it was possible, what if they did B plus D plus F? But they put these in parentheses. Just remember your rules of exponents, your orders of operation. You need to go ahead and do this piece first. Okay, you need to do the D plus F first. Let me rewrite that, sorry. Okay, so if you have B plus, and then you have D plus F in parentheses. You need to do this piece first, then you would take B and add that to that. So just remember to go ahead and follow the order of operations. Do things in parentheses first, and then go ahead and add. Okay. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, like I said, please write them down. Ask me tomorrow in class. Otherwise, have a great day. See you later.